Please subscribe.
The 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid SUV is a well-known name on another body. The turntable of names for the South Korean automaker currently applies to a 2-push hybrid that used to be known as the Santa Fe Sport. A 3-push Santa Fe is underway, and a greater Santa Fe XL as a year ago Santa Fe persisted for one more year before it's completely supplanted. Alright? We don't know we do. However, the 2019 Santa Fe gets a 6.7 on our general scale. The Santa Fe hasn't yet been accident-tried by either significant rating office. We anticipate that score should rise marginally on account of dynamic well-being highlights on each trim. This year, the Santa Fe is taller and stiffer to persuade more purchasers of its SUV characteristics. It's approximately 3 inches longer than the active adaptation, which is for the most part an advantage to backseat riders. The new body is squarer and forceful, punctuated at the nose and tail with bolder highlights. Inside, the Santa Fe is more styled than the active form, not so much plain but rather more clean. In the engine, a 2.4-liter inline-4 is standard and a 2.0-liter turbo-4 is discretionary. The base motor's 185 torque satisfactorily propels the 3,591-pound mass, however it's not rushed. The 235 horsepower turbo-4 is more brilliant, however we think a little room to breathe in the new 8-speed transmission might sodden its punch a bit. Front-wheel drive is standard in each Santa Fe, and all-wheel drive can be had on any trim level for $1,700 extra. A 8-speed program is new this year, however we're increasingly sold on the refined ride and car more out and about. The Santa Fe highlights standard forward crash admonitions with programmed crisis braking, vulnerable side screens, versatile journey control, dynamic path control, and a rear-view camera with back cross-traffic alert on each trim level, which is excellent at simply over $25,000 to begin. Base highlights incorporate Bluetooth availability, material upholstery, 17-inch wheels, and a 7.0-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto similarity for infotainment. Top Ultimate trims offer 19-inch wheels, cowhide, a 8.0-inch touchscreen, premium sound, warmed and cooled front seats, warmed back seats, encompass C-camera framework, warmed controlling wheel, remote cell phone charger, head-up presentation, and programmed wipers. With all-wheel drive and an uprated turbo-4, the ultimate 2.0T rings the ringer at under $40,000 with a 5-year/60,000-mile guarantee. Hyundai's offer is a name we perceive, as well. Totally overhauled for 2019, the new Santa Fe is bigger, taller, and more SUV-like than its antecedent, which was known as the Santa Claus Fe Sport. The new Santa Fe has more nearness out and about gratitude to a greater, progressively forceful grille, and its inside is beginning to match Hyundai's functional insides with the freshly discovered feeling of style. Both acquire a point better than expected on our scale, which is the means by which we land at a 7 out of 10 for looks. The turn toward more SUV-like slashes is obvious in the back, which presently includes a more upstanding and vertical rear end than the Santa Fe Sport. The upstanding looks convey right into the roof line, which is squarer and manages back riders more windows. Hyundai says the windows are 40% greater this year. Adjusted wrinkles in the body sides shroud a genuinely enormous measure of sheet metal. The Santa Fe is almost 3 inches longer this year, and the greater nose is punctuated by a huge grille and slim, cleared back headlights. Within highlights a 2-level dash that is expansive and wide, yet etched to contain driver and traveler sides freely. The main event and top trims is delicate and softly hued. Our ultimate analyzer had a light than main event with a delicate material feel that punches higher than we anticipated. Another 8-speed program transmission supplements 2 well-known motors in the 2019 Santa Fe. The base motor is a 2.4-liter inline-4 that makes 185 pull and a discretionary 235 horsepower 2.0-liter turbo-4 is accessible. Both can be mated to front or all-wheel drive in each trim level. We're less stricken with the powertrains than we are about the ride, which is better than expected inside and out. The 2019 Santa Fe gets a 6 for presentation by our book. The greater part of our turns in the Santa Fe have come in the driver's seat of the uprated Turbo 4, which has preferred control over the Bass 2.4-liter inline 4. Hyundai says the more dominant motor has more torque lower in the rev run than previously, yet slack in the new transmission might sap some of intensity quickly off the line. The power assembles generally low in the rev run, under 1,500 revolutions per minute, yet it quickly dithers off the line when squeezed without hesitation. The 2.0-liter Turbo 4 is best at passing rates, when it quickens rapidly to pass and the transmission appears to be all the more ready to kick down a couple of apparatuses to draw off a mountain pass. The 8-speed program fitted to the two motors is new during the current year and resolves our bandy a year ago that the Santa Fe was down on machine gear pieces, contrasted with its adversaries. Designers from Hyundai state that every last bit of the transmission has been covered up for refined character, metal balls rather than roller course for less grating, snappier torque converter lockup, and more extensive proportions in the 8-speed. It's superior to anything the 6-speed at keeping the Santa Fe proficient, yet there might be a few enhancements yet to come. The greatest improvement in the Santa Fe's character is its ride during the current year. Front swaggers are matched with the back multi-connect arrangement in each trim level, while Limited and Ultimate get a self-leveling back air suspension for more quiet rides and increasingly certain towing. The back stands have been driven increasingly upstanding this year for longer travel and better ride quality, matched with a body that is stiffer by 14 stiffer. It barely makes the tall hybrid a gulch carver, yet it is sure and quiet out and about. Front-wheel drive is standard on each trim level and all-wheel drive is a $1,700 extra cost add-on. Hyundai says the all-wheel drive framework has been tuned to be more prescient than receptive. It thinks about triggering, speed, controlling edge, and different components when connecting with the back wheels for better footing. In our testing, the Santa Fe tranquilly mixed up free soil 2 tracks without a lot of a complaint. It's most likely a superior all-climate framework than an off-road framework, nonetheless. Our restricted presentation with the Bass motor, which Hyundai says will be fitted in 3 out of 4 Santa Fes, uncovered what we anticipated from a motor that makes 185 horsepower entrusted with moving in excess of 3,500 pounds. The base 2.4-liter inline 4 is satisfactory, yet not surged. The 8-speed program entrusted with proficiency felt inconsistent with a motor that required more revs to convey its capacity. One note, our turns in the driver's seat of the 2.4-liter were at in excess of 8,000 feet, when normally suction motors are panting for oxygen and down on power as of now. The 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe drops game from its name, however, requires space for travelers and apparatus this year. It effectively situates 5 travelers and offers a lot of capacity all through the lodge and behind the subsequent line. The front seats are the best seats, so we touch base at a 8 out of 10 for solace. This year, the Santa Fe has developed between the haggles the guards. Hyundai has included 2.6 creeps between the haggles crawls from heavily congested, for the most part for travelers. Backseat riders get in excess of 40 crawls of extra space to move around, which is convincing our 6'3" supervisor had no issues riding behind somebody of equivalent size. The front seats are improved for the current year with better reinforcing and more solace. The main measurement that the Santa Fe didn't develop was shadroom, which appears it'd just be an issue for Olympic swimmers and beginning center linebackers. For the remainder of us, the seats are agreeable and steady, shod in fabric that feels excessively meager or calfskin that feels increasingly strong, however not delicate. Not long from now a 3-push Santa Fe will make its presentation, and crush those measurements marginally, yet that third line is likely better left for kids as it were. Hyundai offers a 2-speed control liftgate on certain models that can open hands-free, which should help overburdened guardians. With 2 lines of seats set up, The Santa Fe holds almost 36 cubic feet of load, about normal for its group, or in excess of 71 3D shapes with the subsequent column collapse down. There's a lot of room between the wheel wells, and the back incubate opening is wide and generally low. For all travelers there are shrewd capacity highlights, for example, cubbies and racks, an aid for long outings. Under the two-layered dash on the traveler side, there's a pattern rack for cell phone stockpiling total with grippy elastic tangle to hold telephones set up. In all trims, the Santa Fe has decent dash materials, including genuine sewing, and an astounding vibe to the vast majority of its trim pieces. There are a couple of spots where cost-cutting is clear: hard plastics on the middle comfort and a slim heap to its payload floor cover. Top trims get an appealing main event that is lighter and nearly denim-like it's in vogue and adds to a lighter lodge. Government and autonomous analyzers have beneficial things to state about the 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe. It is considered a top safety pick, plus and NHTSA gave the 2019 Santa Fe 5 stars by and large. Program crisis braking is standard on all models, so the Santa Fe gains a 8 out of 10 on our security scale. This year, each Santa Fe is furnished with standard, life-sparing dynamic security includes that are progressively basic among automakers. Each 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe is outfitted with forward crash admonitions with programmed crisis braking, vulnerable side screens, versatile journey control, dynamic path control, and a rear-view camera with back cross-traffic alert. Discretionary additional items for the Santa Fe incorporate a back traveler alert, an encompass C-camera framework, stopping sensors, and LED headlights. Hyundai doesn't offer